Hello everybody and welcome back to Emerald Coast. We are nearing the end of winter and I'm just down here at the shop. Made the payment on our new planter. Right, it is upgrade time here at the farm and we are upgrading to a much larger planter. Back there she is, way over there. Red Horsch piece of equipment. First of her kind, I think, down here in Florida. But basically the old corn planter, well, she wasn't going to do it anymore. Now that we have more property, don't have more time in the day to do the work. So we have to get more efficient with our time, and the only real way to do that is to upgrade to larger equipment so we can work more fields in the same amount of time. This isn't the biggest model, but I think it will do nicely. Got it on a fairly good deal. We spent most of yesterday planting field 20 in corn, so this couldn't have come at a better time because we have field 21 to still plant in our shelled corn, and then we plan to also put 3 fields into silage corn, so we'll be able to possibly double up our planters between this one and the Great Plains planter over at the other farm. So while we're over here, let's go ahead and fill this thing up. With some seed and solid fertilizer. Then as we head back to the farm, I want to catch you guys up on maybe goings on around the old farm as of late. See if we can get here without, might have to unfold this. We can get up underneath of it. Sometimes you try. Sometimes you try to have a little bit of a role play, and Farm Sim just says, no, that's not going to happen today. We got 2,000 liters of seed, 7,000 liters of fertilizer. Alright, let's head on back to the farm. And I'll talk to you about some of the goings on. We have finished clearing out the silage down here at the BGA. So the only thing left with the BGA is, well, for the digester to do its thing and make methane gas and whatever else it does to produce energy. We'll be able to make use of that wonderful digestate, that side effect of the digesting process, next autumn, possibly next summer as we rotate out some of our crops. Our compost is pretty much ready to haul. In fact, the plan is to get some of this cornfield planted, and then I want to give Daryl a turn on this thing so that he can get accustomed with the operations of this planter also. So once we turn over the planting operations to Daryl, we'll head over there and haul 2 loads of compost down here to the old farmland. We will be picking up some new beef cattle and some new pigs here in the next week or so as we move into spring. Been really surprised with our hay. The little bit of hay that we did have going into winter, we still have, surprisingly, I think about 19 or 20 bales. So that's held up shockingly good. But most of the reason that's held up well is because we've been able to really focus on silage in our mix. We had a whole lot of silage. I think at last count 300 tons worth in that harvest store over there. Whole heaping lot of silage. As far as our crop planting goes, we've just got one more field of shelled corn put in the ground. Got 3 fields of silage corn put in the ground, and 2 or 3 fields of cotton. The cotton and the shelled corn, we're going to wait until springtime to do that. And well, you've kind of seen over here, we've got some weed management that we're going to need to do on all of our fields soon also. I think the plan on that is going to be waiting until early spring. Hopefully then we'll have young seedlings coming up. And at that point, these large weeds, I think they'll be much more prone to our herbicide treatment than the young plants. Other than that, it's been a really relaxing winter. Haven't had a whole lot of extra work to do, but I will tell you something else that preempted this planter upgrade is the last 2 farmers that own land here in the area. They have reached out to me about possibly buying their operations out. And if that happens, then we're going to have a whole lot more land to work. And again, in order to work all that land effectively and efficiently with the time that we have obviously in the day, we're going to need more equipment, bigger equipment to do that. All right. Drop this thing down. We've got corn in there. Turn on. See if our guidance steering can pick up the working parameters of this piece of equipment. If we might have to go in here and tweak it a little bit. Not quite picking up what we were hoping to pick up. There we go. That should work. Yeah, the big field across the way there. That farmer has approached us about maybe if we would be interested in taking that field over. Then field 5 on our our field plot here. Field 5 is he's also expressed some interest in maybe wanting to cash out. I think what he's realizing is modern farming is more, well, it's more about scale and getting kind of old, and just doesn't have the means to continue on in a scale that would make it profitable. So we knew that between us three brothers that we had a pretty large operation going on here. We had pretty good war chest of finances, and had a pretty good collection of equipment available to us. Figured that taking his land wouldn't be that huge of a burden to us, while at the same time he could kind of cash out and take that money and then basically put it towards retirement, so to speak. Well, I have to tell you, I don't know of any old farmer that has gone into retirement and truly stayed that way. So hard to say. I'm thinking what he's planning on is he wants us to buy the land, take over the financial commitment, but then I think he's going to be coming around every so often wanting to know, is there any field work you might need me to do? And I'd love to help you guys out. So I don't think we're going to have any problem with that. We haven't done any official paperwork on any of those yet, but I expect the day is coming soon where we will formalize an agreement with both of those landowners, take over both of those fields. Right now, I believe they've got soybeans in both of them, so we won't have to worry about planting those in the spring. Just have to kind of do some soil tests, see what kind of soil plan we need to put them on as far as fertilization goes. I know the big field back there behind us, it's historically had a lot of weed problems. We're going to need to look and kind of talk my local U.S. Geological Office about maybe what we can do as far as changing the soil chemistry around, make these weeds a little less prominent in the area. This planter working 9 miles an hour, so a lot faster than the other one was. Well, the other planter was much stuck at 6 miles an hour. Fairly slow working speed, especially given the amount of land that we had to work with. Coal's pretty good. It's obviously a European import. Still has those darn European warning signs on them. This field isn't going to take too terribly long at all to hammer out. I think what I'm going to do is finish up this little section here. Then give Daryl a ring, have him come up here, show him kind of the ropes, let him finish off this field. As like I said, we're going to run down and haul a few loads of compost down to the farmlands. This big heavy planter. Pull it down a little bit in the mud. Alright, I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we've got Daryl all set up with the Horsch planter. That it looked really great, and didn't think it was going to take too terribly long to get the rest of that field planted up, which was pretty good because we only have a few hours of daylight left. Got our Mack truck here, and boy, this thing is dirty. Dealing with compost is a dirty job. Got ourselves 1.1 million liters of this stuff. All this. This is going to be fortune. This is going to be a fortune. Go ahead and haul a few loads down here. I tell you, if all we were interested in was money, we wouldn't be bothering with animals. We wouldn't be bothering with our dairy operation. We wouldn't be bothering with crops. The only thing we would be putting in the ground are sugar beets, wheat, and well, we would need some form of manure. So I guess we would probably keep our dairy cows, just so we'd have a nice regular supply of the raw materials that go into making this black gold. Fair bit of work though, but it does pay off in the end. Now, obviously, harvesting sugar beets is a really time-consuming job. In order to keep the plant operational with manure, it's going to take a lot of cattle, a lot of food production, if you will. Then we've got to transport the byproduct out of Razwood, free compost, if you will. Got to transport that up there to the bunkers. Got to basically compact it down, squish it down, get it all good, and cover it up with a blanket, piece of plastic, actually, and just let it cook there for, I don't know, a good part of a season. And when we uncover it, we've got ourselves, well, what we call down here, black gold. $135,000. That load right there, that road light there, guys, that paid for the Horsch planter. Right there, done. So we've got about, if we do go and buy these fields, about $900,000 worth of commitment in land value. Sitting at nearly $3.3 million. We've got the cash for sure. Got the capital put into that land purchase. But we're going to need in order to get these fields harvested in the little time that this southern Florida, well, I should say western panhandle Florida weather gives us, we're going to need to upsize our harvesting fleet. We're going to need to get another Claas Lexion harvester, another set of headers. That's several $100,000 just there. We might need to expand our seeders in the future. We'll just have to see. I mean, we do have a fair bit of time in the winter to get our spring Basically the equivalent of our spring planting done. We're definitely going to need another harvester. Compost will definitely help us. This belt started up. Move the belt back just a bit. Alright, let's go haul our second load. $41 tons of product. Careful, we don't want to get bogged down in this mud. That's for sure. Yeah, come spring, we're going to be putting in shelled corn, not shelled corn, but silage corn. Right in this field to our right. We've got two more fields that run along this fence line along the road. We're going to put silage corn into for the BGA. Then we've got a few fields just north of the animal pen, where we're going to put our cotton in this year. We're going to be doing that in the springtime. I think this is a perfect time to be filling off some compost, because as the weather warms up, well, businesses are going to be wanting to talk to landscape companies about getting out there and sprucing up their outsides. Customers, homeowners are going to be wanting to buy compost either in individual bags, or for the more adventurous, buy it by the yard in a truckload. Now I think it's a perfect time to be selling this stuff. Demand is about to come up. Alright guys, so we're just going to go ahead and haul a few more loads of compost today. Try to stay out of trouble. If you guys went and liked the video today, if you did, please go ahead and click that like button. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of our Emerald Coast series here? Whoa, let's take a shortcut. What do you think of the Emerald Coast series? How is it progressing? Have you all played Emerald Coast yourself? If you have, what are the things that you liked about Emerald Coast? And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.